Growing up in my household, there was a lot of violence, and didn't know, honestly, if I'd be alive from one day to the next. When I speak at conferences, I say that I made friends with death as a child, and I think it's really true. Then I saw death all the time as a nurse, and that kind of experience can make you feel very unempowered. You feel kind of hopeless and helpless. And so I think that once I started working as a nurse and found that I could change lives working one person at a time, working with one patient at a time, and making such a difference in someone's life, that when I got to be a college professor and I felt like I could impact lives 30 at a time and start opening people's minds to different kinds of ideas. And I think Be the Change really addresses that feeling of helplessness sometimes about the world or about your circumstances. Gandhi said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." And if we could all practice that, we could make changes every single day in the way that we live. We found ourselves helping the local community. Because we were so focused on issues, we started to really look at the cities right next door to us. And Newark has particular urban challenges. So Newark, New Jersey has a crime rate 5 times the national average. And I don't know if you can even picture what that means to the people living, especially in the numbered streets in Newark, where we do a lot of our garden projects. What it means is that children can't go outside and play. What it means is that no one feels safe, ever. What it means is that your life can end that day at any given time. Anytime you hear a fast car drive down the street, this could be the moment that you die. I have all the homicides from 2011 to 2014, and 2015's been a pretty terrible year, so I'm anxious to get my hands on that. But we've created murder maps right outside my office. We have big blown up maps of Newark, every single ward, every single street. And so every single person that's been murdered in Newark, New Jersey now has a dot on a map, and we're looking to see where the clusters of dots are so that we can plan for our next projects. And then just about a month ago, Hassan, who lived next door to our garden project, had moved to South 9th Street, and he was gunned down in front of his children. So these are the kinds of things that people live with all the time. Imagine a place where there's 300,000 people and only 5 supermarkets. Most of the folks don't have transportation and find it very difficult to get to the 5 supermarkets in the city, and really rely on the smaller bodegas to get their food. So that presents itself with all sorts of health challenges. When you go to a bodega, you're getting processed foods, you're getting foods that are high in sodium, you're not getting much nutrition. And so we decided to look at the abandoned lots in the city. And we began to think that we could transform these lots into gardens and playgrounds and community gathering spaces. We started looking at it as a research project. We wanted to look at the impact of gardens on the crime rates. We wanted to look at the impact of the gardens on nutrition. We wanted to look at the impact of the gardens on community togetherness. And does community unity really bring around a shift? Joshua Mehta is the employee at Neuberger Berman, and he knew about our projects, about our garden projects, and felt like they could be bumped up to the next level. And he started talking to us about the vertical design.
The vertical design is ideally suited for urban farming. It's giving us the most yield and the highest efficiency per square foot in a vertical setting. For example, in the 5 gardens we planted this year in Jersey, we've gotten 41 plants in a 2x5 setting, and therefore the yield is very high.
The team there, Brian and Charles particularly, and more, have really assisted us in design and finding the right materials, and they've come out to the garden projects themselves and helped us to build them. We give them a weekly update on how many pounds of food we've brought into Newark that week. I send them pictures, I send a proof of pictures all the time of children eating a fresh tomato for the first time or a fresh pepper.
Now, the challenges of having a vertical garden like that requires a constant maintenance and nutrients that have to be constantly supplied to these gardens. So there's some changes, some tweaks we would do to the design for next year by learning from what we did in 2015.
So that's really where we're headed now with a lot of this. We're looking at how to make the biggest bang for the buck, so to speak. With vertical gardens, we can grow 40 plants of vegetables in a tower, and we're able to bring a lot more food to the community. And we're so incredibly grateful for that. Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. We actually have globalized this. We have a vertical garden in Kosovo now. So I can't thank Neuberger Berman enough for believing in us and believing in the garden projects and caring enough about people who don't have enough food.
I am so grateful to Neuberger Berman and the employees of Neuberger Berman who helped out set up these gardens to get us off the ground. The grant really helps us think long term, helps us prepare for 2016, helps us design for 2016, and gets us moving in the right direction by packaging these vertical gardens to ship worldwide.